Hello my future Dragon Danny mains. Today we're going to be talking about everything that you're going to need before summoning for the best Daniel there is. So first we're briefly going to go over his skills and everything like that, then talk about the mats he needs, then we're going to talk about his best gear and light cones. So if you guys just want to skip through, there'll be probably timestamps in the video if you just want to skip to a certain part of the video. Anyways, let's go ahead and talk about my boy's skills now. So what his skill does is it has 3 different ticks, right? You can activate it 3 different times, which consumes 3 different skill points. Every single time you activate this, it enhances the basic attack to a different attack. That being Lotus, Transcendence, Divine Spear, and Leap. We'll get into that in a second here though. And this is also going to be increasing the damage for every time you upgrade it as well. There's also something else pretty big that it does. I didn't mention in the live stream, but I can't talk about that because it's leaks. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the attacks now. First, his Lotus is going to be a single target attack. This is his very basic attack that you would use without using any of your skill points. Second is going to be Transcendence, which is also a single target attack. It hits the enemy more times, so your hits per action gets increased, but still on that one target. Divine Spear turns into an AoE attack, targeting one main enemy and hitting adjacent enemies. It'll also be increasing the amount of ticks you get with that as well. And then finally, Fulgurant Leap, which is his max stack. This is going to be giving him the most hits per action and the most damage possible. His damage from here doesn't just scale off the hits per action alone. What it also does is also going to be increasing your damage every time you get up with this, so the multipliers are going to increase for each level of the basic attack. So you really want to be hitting that enhanced basic attack every single time. Let's go ahead and talk about his ult now. His ultimate is going to target one main enemy, hit adjacent enemies, and you'll be getting 2 of his special little skill points. And what these skill points do is it basically allows you to get free usage of your skill. So whenever you use the ultimate, it gives you 2 stacks of these. So instead of having to use 3 skill points for his enhanced basic attack, you're only having to use 1 of your precious skill points for that. So he refunds himself in the way every single time he uses his ultimate move. And then finally his talent, which plays the biggest role in his kit because it directly correlates with those enhanced basic attacks. You're going to be getting increased damage for every single hit that you do on the enemy. That means whatever the hits per action is, the higher that hit per action count is, the more damage you're doing as well. So not only does your multipliers increase when you're getting higher enhanced basic attacks, you're also getting a direct damage multiplier on top of that as well, coming directly from his talent. So that is really, really big. As far as what you want to be upgrading in his kit, guys, you want to be upgrading everything, but you guys might want to know the cost to upgrade them. So let's go ahead and talk about all of the materials you're going to need to be upgrading your Danny so you can be prepared for that when he actually comes to the game. So guys, to get him from level 1 to level 80 and to max out all of his traces, you're going to need 3.9 million credits to actually max this kit out. So go ahead and get grinding with those credits now because it's going to take you a while to get those bad boys. As far as XP you're going to need for him, you're going to need 290 of these purple books. Of course, if you get like a lot of like the rare books and uncommon books, that can play a role and a factor in how many purple books you need to get because you always won't get all purple books, but you need the XP amount to equal 290 of these XP books. Now, talking about my boy's trace materials, he's going to need these lifeless blades here, guys. He's going to need 139 of the big ones, 64 of the medium ones, 18 of the small ones. So just be farming these swords up. These are the trace materials that he needs for that. And as far as his easy to get trace materials, you're going to need these tree branches here. You're going to need 73 of the big ones, 71 of the medium ones, and 56 of the small ones. So what you need as far as ascending his levels go is you're going to need the new little talisman things that you get from the new robot boss coming to the game in the new version. So you can't really pre-farm these until the update comes out. So unfortunately, you can't farm these right now. And to my knowledge, they haven't announced what boss materials you're going to need to actually get his traces to max level. But I'm going to assume that it's going to be from the new Phantalia boss fight, considering he does take a pretty big part in that. And there's only Kafka and Blade with these using these right now. So I'm just going to assume that you're going to need these, so you're going to need at least 12 of these boys. But let's say you go and pull his signature light cone, right? Let's go ahead and talk about the cost for that. For that, guys, you're going to need around 890,000 credits, 166 of the purple books. You're going to need 15 of the big swords, 12 of the medium swords, and 4 of the small swords. You're going to need 14 big tree branches, 20 medium tree branches, and 20 small tree branches. And that all comes out to a total, if you get him and his light cones, around 4.79 million credits, 154 of the big swords, 81 of the medium swords, 22 of the small swords, and then as far as like the easy to get trace materials go, which are the tree branches, 87 of the big ones, 91 of the medium ones, and 76 of the small ones. So with all of this out of the way, you've already farmed to get him to level 80, you got his traces maxed out, he got his light cone, you're pogging along, but what relics and light cones are you actually going to use on him, guys? Let's go ahead and start off with the light cones first. Obviously, his best in slot is going to be his signature light cone. Lightcone. They haven't announced what the Lightcone's actually going to do yet as of recording this video, but just know it's going to be his best in slot, hands down. This is his best in slot. If you have it, then definitely use it on him. If you want a free-to-play option, run on the Fall of the Aeon, guys. This is going to be pretty big for him as well, because what this is going to be doing is it's going to increase their attack by 8% at an S1, guys. Keep in mind this is S1. So you are getting a max of 86% attack boost at a max stack, and also whenever you weakness break the enemy, the wearer's damage is going to increase by 12% for 2 turns. At max level, this is going to increase to 24%. So this does turn out to be a little bit better than a Secret Vow at an S5. So if you do have this S5, definitely use it on him. This is his best option. The reason why we care about the weakness break here is because he gets so many hits per action. What hits per action are is like when Ansa uses her ability, it hits the enemy multiple times and breaks their shield that many times. Same for him. He's going to be hitting the enemy multiple times. That means he'll be breaking the enemy shield a lot more often. Talking about his best relic set, guys, is going to be the 4-piece Wastelander set. I mean, I think this is pretty self-explanatory, right? It gives you a 10% imaginary damage boost, and also if you're attacking a debuffed enemy, which you probably are going to have them debuffed, it's going to increase your crit rate by 10%, and also you get a 20% crit damage increase whenever they're imprisoned. I think you know why this is his best in slot, because he is probably going to be imprisoning the enemies a lot, because he's breaking enemy shields a lot. So overall, this is just really good for Dragon Danny. Best in slot, hands down. Run this. I don't think you'll go wrong with it at all. Second best in slot, though, guys, is going to be the 2-piece of the Wasteland and 2-piece of the Musketeer. Obviously, you just run 2-piece with the Musketeer if you can't complete the 4-piece set of something. Especially, say you have like a lot of like good Musketeer pieces, but you couldn't find very many of like good Wasteland pieces, then you would want to run something like this, because a better set is better than a set bonus, right? So if you have like a lot of really good substats on like a 2-piece Musketeer set, then run that, because it's going to be better than the 4-piece set bonus that you're actually getting with this, which is conditional, whereas the substats for Relics are not conditional. And then also one final set that you could potentially run on them would be a 2-piece Wasteland, 2-piece Hackerspace, which is going to increase his speed, especially if you need help hitting that breakpoint speed because you can't reach it. This could help you out a lot if you can't reach the 134 speed. It'll give him a little bit extra speed to work with to maybe hit your breakpoint so he can go more than one time in a turn. Talking about his best planner set now, guys, I think his best planner set's probably going to be the 2-piece Runelet, just because it's going to be increasing his crit rate. Of course, you have to reach the 70% crit threshold before you actually activate the ability on it, which increases basic attack and skill damage by 20%. Everything he does is based off of his basic attack, right? The skill damage doesn't really matter too much because he's not really doing it. Of course, he has his ultimate as well, which does a good bit of damage, but I think overall you'll get more damage out of your basic attacks because you're doing it so much more often. Alternatively, you could run Salsado. It's not going to be as good as Runelet, just because it's only increasing that ultimate and follow-up attack damage. He doesn't do any follow-up attacks, so you're really only getting the 15% damage buff to the ultimate, whereas with Runelet, you're getting a 20% damage increase to his basic attack. This overall is just going to make you have a better day, so use Runelet if you have Runelet. Now, of course, you could run a 2-piece Space Sealing Station. This is if you don't have anything else, right? Space Sealing Station is, you know, something you could use just for about anyone. It gives you an attack increase. It's not going to be as good as Runelet. It's not going to be as good as Salsado, but it is still decent nonetheless, so I would recommend running this if you have it. Talking about some of the stats you want to be aiming for on this, guys, on the boots, run speed. Run speed or attack percentage, right? If you can't get speed, then run attack percentage, but I would recommend speed. Speed's #1 in the game. It's like the best stat you can use for just about any character. Run speed. For his chestplate, either run crit rate or crit damage, depends on what you need more of. Look at your ratio, make sure it's 2 to 1. For every 2 crit damage, make sure you have 1 crit rate, so on and so forth. You can run attack percentage here if you are having trouble getting these or anything with decent substats, but overall, you would want to run crit rate, crit damage here. On the rope, you can either run attack percentage or energy regen. I like energy regen a lot because I like doing my ult a lot, which means he's more skill point efficient, because when you use his ult, he gets more skill points back. So this is really good. I would probably say attack percentage is probably overall better, but me personally, I do recommend energy regen on him just so he is a bit more efficient on the team. As far as the sphere goes, obviously just run imaginary damage here. You would want it no other way. If you can't get this, then second best in slot would be attack percentage, but I don't advise it. That is just something if you can't get anything else for him, right? Talking about some of the substats, I think it's pretty self-explanatory. He's a DPS character that doesn't really rely on anything else. You build him like a DPS character, right? So you want to run crit rate, crit damage, speed, and attack percentage. These are just the main things you would run across any standard DPS character. And yeah, it's super, super good, super, super clean, and that's exactly how you would want to run run him. But yeah, that's really going to be all as far as what you need to farm for Dragon Daniel. I know we went over a lot in this video, and it might be a little bit longer video. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube. Make sure you join the Discord for your chance to enter the giveaway for either Fu Xuan or Daniel Dan Heng. When I'm recording this, I haven't entered the poll for it yet, but by the time this is actually posted, the character we're giving away will be announced. Anyways, like I said, have a good day, everyone. Tell me if you enjoyed this little guide I did, and I'll see you in the next one. Later. Bye-bye.